Everyone, welcome back to Crafting Good on Sundays. Today, we are going to, of course, start off with the Reiki meditation. We'll get our energy really grounded. Um, if you're, you know, like me, you might have had a really hard week last week, a lot of chaos in the news, a lot of change, a lot of people with big feelings, a lot of fear is going around right now. So the Reiki meditation grounding component is going to be super important for us this week, but also just really moving forward. Um, and then we're going to think about the week that we had, contemplate how the energy of imagination came up, where the sun was last week. And to think ahead of this week, we have a new moon this week in Aquarius in the gate 19. And the sun is moving into the gate 19 tomorrow. So we're going to talk about what that means. Um, and then do a little bit of reflection of January of the month, and then we'll close out. So that's kind of what we're getting into um, this week. And then next week, I am not going to have a meeting. I'm not going to do a recording. We're not going to have a meeting because I'm going to be working out of town. So next week, if you have the guide, you can go through all of that because it's the beginning of a new month. So on, not on the 2nd, but on, um, hold on one second. Let me put my do not disturb on. On the 9th, we will look through, we'll kind of bring it up for conversation as far as how the month started off for you, and we'll pull some cards, but then we'll go ahead and go to our February 9th, kind of week of February 9th energetics. So if you want the February 2nd week information, let me know. I can give it to you. If you have the guide, please go through that. Okay. Okay. Let's get into it. Shake off your day, shake off your week. Do some sort of shaking that feels right. I love to do my hands, feet, get into your hips. Reach up to the sky, bring it down. Any stretches. Feel very free to move your body however it really needs to move. If you need to get on the floor and do some kind of cat cow spine stretches, if you need to just pace and walk around during the meditation, please use your own self-empowerment and your own decisions to make the best decision for you and your body, mind, and spirit that you can right now. This is just an invitation. It is definitely not a how-to, okay? Why don't we rub our hands together? I've already set the Reiki precepts for us today. I'll I'll do our blessing, and then we'll settle in for a little bit of mindfulness, a little bit of quiet. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. Um, exhale with your voice on would feel really good. So we move some good gross movement and then some inner movement with the breath. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take a comfortable position. Again, if that's lying down, sitting up in the chair, make sure your sit bones are kind of flush with the ground so you can feel really grounded. If you're on the ground, if you're in a chair, just on the chair. Close your eyes if it feels right. You might want your palms facing down in your lap, facing up in your lap, maybe holding on to anything that feels supportive, nourishing, grounding, maybe hand on the heart, hand on the belly, whatever feels right to you right now. And just take a stock of where you are. What is the mind chattering about? Is there tension in the body? Where is that tension? What is the quality of it? Flavor of it? And then notice the breath if anything is restricted. Follow the breath from where it originates, where it goes through the body, and then where it goes out, where the inhale meets the exhale. Just take notice. We rarely take pauses just to notice. So indulge yourself in that. I'll say our blessing. I place the white, gold, and blue light of love and protection around us, our body, mind, souls, and spirits, so that only entities of the highest truth, love, and compassion may enter this space. Help us to put our egos and personalities and conditioned selves aside and let our authentic self, our true self, shine for our highest and best and for the highest and best of the planet. Calling all of our guides in, all of our angels in, our highest self, the greater part of us, that connected, loving energy, calling it here to direct where we need to go, bringing us ahas, insights, clarity, synchronicities, calling all of our energy back from all time and space, all meetings, all ruminatings and anxieties, all arguments or confrontations, bringing it all back into your body now. And with it, closing up any leaks in the aura, any leaks in your energy that might be draining you, that you might be aware of, and what you might not be aware of. Bringing it all back, securing it. And bring your attention to your heart space. Feel your attention there. Maybe it's warm, maybe it's tingling, maybe it's radiating down the arms and into the fingers. Just feel what your own love feels like, or maybe what it sounds like or looks like in your mind's eye. Bring more awareness and quality to it. With every breath in, breathe your own loving energy into every cell, every organ, blood, your nerves, your bones, your muscles. And on your exhale, sending your love out to your physical space. Every inhale, breathing in your own love. And on your exhale, sending it out to your family, to your community, your friends. Breathing in your own love. All the spaces that maybe you're worried about or you are ashamed of or feel guilty or feel wrong for. Sending your love to those places. And on the exhale, sending your love out to the world, wrapping it, enveloping it, touching every living thing in and around it. Now, your next exhale, send that loving energy down into the earth, permeating all the layers of the earth, touching every root, every crystal and rock, every piece of dirt, blade of grass, sending it all your love. Inhaling your own green light of love, exhaling it down to the earth. Then, when you're ready, breathing in your own green light of love and then exhaling it up through the sky, the air, the atmosphere, the universe, up to your highest self, the greater part of you, and that connected energy. I'm calling it all back to the heart, knowing you're plugged in, you're grounded up above and below with every beat of your heart, sending yourself love. It radiates out to everyone around you, everyone you touch and interact with. You're ready, taking any gentle movements to come back into this moment together, into your body in this time and space. Okay, so as I talked about when I was introducing this class, or this group, it's not really class, this group, we are having the sun move into the gate 19. Again, the human design mandala is a circle, and the sun and earth go through the gates depending on where it is. This week, the gate 19 is the gate of attunement. It's going to be moving tomorrow. And what the sun does is it moves through the gate in each line. So if you're familiar with human design, it's that 19.1 through 6 over the course of a few days. So tomorrow, the 27th, it will move into gate 19, attunement line 1. Line 1 is that investigator energy. Line 2 is like a hermit type energy. Line 3 is an experiential learning type energy. 4 is social. 5 is like a problem solving energy. And 6 is more of an embodied energy of this. So you might be able to tell the differences once you start getting in the habit of noticing how those different lines present themselves. But it is something to be aware of. We're not going to go super in depth in this container with that, but if you are interested, I can help you with that. Okay, so if you have your book, we are on page 72, okay, in the hard copy book. If you have the digital, I don't know if they're the same or not. I haven't looked at my digital versus my copy. But Karen Curry Parker is the author here. She's the one that's guiding us through this book. The challenge is to learn how to manage being a highly sensitive person and not let your sensitivity cause you to compromise what you want and who you are. So I have noticed just tons of people saying, I'm highly sensitive. I don't know what to do. I'm learning that my energy is soaking in other people's energy. What do I do? And then when we're not sovereign in our own energy, we can really act out and make choices and treat people in ways that maybe we wouldn't if we were boundaried, not guarded, not guarded, but boundaried, being respectful of our energy and others, and then being in control of our own energy. So that will be the challenge of the gate 19. It says to not martyr yourself for the needs of others, to learn how to become emotionally intimate without being shut down or codependent. So this is really a huge skill, especially in the climate that we're in right now, too, not to let the fear and anger and oppression seep in, and but also not be aware and not see the pain of the world. So it's going to invite us to create those boundaries and exercise those muscles. Okay, so here are some affirmations. I am deeply aware of the emotional needs and energy of others. My sensitivity and awareness give me insights that allow me to create intimacy and vulnerability. I'm aware and attuned to the emotional frequency around me, and I make adjustments to help support high frequency emotional alignment. So, this is basically gearing you up into a belief of I can be in the world, but not of the world. I can see pain, but not be so covered in it that I can't help other people. Okay. If you have a solar plexus that is undefined, if it's not colored in your body graph, if you haven't gotten your body graph, your own human design reading, you can go to craftingood.com and get it for free. Put in your birth date, time, and place, and it will create this whole visual that kind of looks like a body. On the right lower side is your solar plexus. That is the space on your physical body below your sternum and above your belly button. That's the area where the solar plexus energy resides. It's all about personal power, creativity, and in human design has a lot to do with emotions. If you're emotionally defined, you always have an emotional wave riding. All right. That doesn't mean you're not empathetic, but you always have emotional energy riding, and it just has a different rhythm than if you are not defined. I am undefined in my solar plexus center. I don't always have an emotional wave, but it makes other people's energy really susceptible to soaking in and amplifying in my system and making me think that it's my emotional energy. So if you are undefined, you're gonna really want to pay attention to this week. Um, Use some energetic boundaries. So some energetic boundaries I love are, rocks, crystals. It's just, they have metaphysical properties, but they also are a nice reminder to boundary your energy. If, like, at the beginning of the day, you wake up and you have any sort of morning ritual or while you're taking your shower, you can, use the power of visualization to imagine a bubble around you or a force field around you or mirrors around you that face out. So energy bounces out. And again, we're not preventing empathy. We're really boundarying our own energy so we can show up compassionately. The difference between empathy and compassion, empathy, you're actually feeling other people's feelings. Compassion is you feel other people's feelings and then you would like to act, you'd like to help, you'd like to be there for someone. So um, we want to take that next step, and we can't really do that if we're not aware of our own emotional energy patterns. So, um, other ways to boundary your energy or to do some like traditional Native American like cleansing and storing up of energy with like Palo Santo, that kind of thing. So, um, there's also, if you're in the circle community, there are tools and rituals in there that might be helpful for energetic boundaries. If you know you're going into a contentious meeting and you are undefined, especially, you want to make sure that you even just set an intention or set a verbal boundary of, please let me stay in my own energy, or help me not absorb the energy of others, or help me, you can even just have that as your intention. I'm going to go into this meeting and stay in my own energy. That's good enough too. So, whatever feels right to you, accessible to you, authentic to you, please try a variety of them. You might think one way, and when you actually try it, it might feel differently. So, just try a few of those on. Okay. Um, let's do the tapping sequences and see if we can ground ourselves through the tapping for this energy this week, and then we'll go through some journal contemplation time together. So, okay. If you're not familiar with tapping, this is a research-backed somatic tool to rewire your belief system and your subconscious. It can be really helpful in healing, in moving out of old patterns that are not serving you in creating the life that you want and holding the vision and acting in the vision that you intend to. It can really help, prevent self-sabotage and shame and rewire a lot of things that are preventing you from feeling your best and your authentic self. So, um, the tapping sequence goes like this. You tap on either side of the palm of your hand, just gently. Then it goes on the top of your head, then on the top of your eyebrow, on the side of your eye, underneath your nose, on your chin, your like underneath your clavicle, and then underneath, oh, you can't hardly see, your bra line kind of there, like right underneath the armpit. Okay. So repeat after me and do just copy me. Repeat after me, copy me, and see how it goes. I want you to also think before we run into these scripts and we do the whole sequence, um, from 0 to 10, how are you feeling about intimacy? How are you feeling about emotional safety? How are you feeling about being empathetic and being able to open to others? Um, Rate it from like 0 to 10, and I know it's variable depending on who you're with, but try to think of this as like an overall pattern instead of a one-off, unless something's really present for you in one of your relationships or one of your dynamics right now, and then you can work within the context of that relationship too. But try to write from 0 to 10, 10 being really closed off, um, not intimate, not feeling safe emotionally, not feeling boundaried emotionally, just kind of out of whack. 0 meaning fully open, fully free, fully intimate, fully boundaried, fully in control of your emotional experience of your life. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. Even though it is scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I don't know why I do this bilaterally, but I do. Even though it's scary to open up my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now, under the armpit here. Even though it's scary to open my heart, I now choose to create space for deep intimacy and love in my life, and I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And now just sit. How does that feel in your body? How does your body feel? And how would you rate yourself? 0 to 10 again. Does it change? Does it remain the same? And for those of you at home right now listening to this recording, um, you can do it again and again. Like you can do this as many times as you want to. You can do it throughout the week. That's why I'm recording these so you can have it. Um, Sit and think, feel. Okay. For the next few minutes, we're going to do some journal questions and then we'll talk about the new moon coming up. That's pretty significant. We'll end with the monthly review. Okay. So here are some journal questions to think about. Am I emotionally present in my relationships? Do I need to become more attuned to my own emotional needs and ask more of what I want and need? So, attunement is the awareness of what you need and then being able to sit with that and help yourself with that. A lot of times we outsource our emotional regulation to others, but really it's an inside job and we can do it for ourselves. So if you don't have a partner or you didn't learn about this growing up, or you have an unsupportive partner or just absent, um, you have the power within yourself to emotionally regulate and validate yourself, but it is a hard adjustment at first. So start off with the journal questions. Am I emotionally present in my relationships, external relationships, but I wonder if you're attuned to yourself too? Do I need to become more attuned to my own emotional needs and ask of more of what I want and what I need? So again, this is a recording. Pause it here and spend 10, 15 minutes um, journaling around those journal questions. Okay. So the new moon is coming up on the 29th, which is what, Wednesday, I think? Um, this will be an Aquarius in the gate nine. So Aquarius in astrology, and then the gate 19 in human design, still a gate, the gate of attunement. The new moon energy invites us to explore how we can deepen our alignment with our intentions and ask us to focus on what we want to grow and expand in our lives. That's in general. So, for this one specifically, we're going to look at our own emotional attunement and our relationships and see how we can align our relationships to our intentions and be in integrity in our relationships. This is the new moon of the human design year. I talked about in the first recording that this is the new year. This is a fresh new year for human design too. So the gate 19 makes us deeply sensitive and dialed into our own intuition and awareness of what other people need. This is like an intuitive empathy gate. It can, when emotional energy is overtaking us, it can make us really codependent and forsake our needs on behalf of other people's. And if we're out of balance with this, we can take a lot of things personally and be kind of like a martyr and self-sacrificial, which no one really gets help when we behave from that. I know in motherhood, I have 3 kids. In motherhood, that's really kind of easy to do. It's the example that a lot of us have been given as far as motherhood is your needs don't matter. You only are there to serve the needs of the kids. And then when we serve from that place, our kids know that. Our kids can sense that. And it's really exchanging an energetic of resentment a lot of times rather than like an outpouring of love. When we have our own emotional and physical and mental needs met, we can overflow with love and they can feel the difference. This new moon offers a big invitation to explore the quality of our relationships and agreements. Big theme will come up for all of us again and again this year in general. We're being called to rewrite our relationship agreements so they're more aligned to our values and our wants and needs. Energy that represents our relationships with animals and the natural world. So getting out in nature is going to be so important with the collective kind of change, transition, turmoil going on. Um, it's also specific to the relationship that we are in nature. We have forgotten that we are nature. We are nature. It's not separate from us. We have cycles and rhythms just like other parts of the natural world. We are born and we die just like parts of the natural world or all of the natural world. And that is a huge component of how to heal scarcity and lack in your life, how to bring more abundance into your life, how to celebrate the diversity of the energetics within yourself and the complex contradictions in yourself. And celebrate that in other people and then us as a collective society. If we ever want to dismantle the negative impacts of capitalism, racism, patriarchy, all these oppressive systems that keep us out of our authentic self, we have got to realize that we are nature and adopt patterns and habits from that place. Serving others, being in synergistic relationships and not just what's in it for me, what's in it for you. It's beyond compromise, it's beyond collaboration. It's a natural outpouring of my essence is in benefit to you and your essence is in benefit to me. If we can do that, we can create the world that we want to see. I'll hop off my um, soapbox there, but we have to heal it within ourselves first. So, what parts of you are you um, in turmoil with? What parts of you are you not listening to? What parts of you are you shaming? Are you putting in your shadow? This is a time to explore all the different parts of you, and if you're in integrity with your own self. Um, the moon is inviting us to reassess our relationships with our own health and wellness, our diet, what changes we need to be making as far as relationships of how we're treating our body. Are we respecting it or are we hating it? Are we going and working out because we hate our bodies and we hate who we are, and so we're gonna beat it into into submission, or are we working out because we know that we are a God-given vessel and this is um, a beautiful offering of how we get to create and move about in the world, and what we intake becomes us, and that includes our emotions. When we eat something and we feel guilty, we're ingesting guilt. When we eat something and we feel joy and gratitude, that is what we're ingesting. It's kind of, let's think differently about our health and wellness. um, Take some time in the new moon to ground yourself in nature before you assess the quality of your relationship. So the grounding component will feel so much better and you'll get more clarity around it than if you just contemplate it without considering that component. Um, Imagine some experiencing true emotional intimacy with your partnerships. Focus on creating a dynamic of community of support for yourself and healthy relationships with food, nature, and the environment. How you treat yourself is how you're treating others, is how you're treating the earth. So it it starts with you, okay? Shame doesn't work. Shame doesn't work. You can't shame yourself into keeping a habit. You can't shame yourself into discipline. You can't shame yourself into fitting into some beauty standard that is, what the world thinks is appropriate. It is, you are a beautiful vessel, just like the flower you grow in the garden, just like the beautiful trees that give you shade and oxygen, just like the ocean, just like the moon. Um, you you are an outpouring of the creation of this energy, and to hold yourself with that kind of reverence will really help identify how you can honor yourself a little bit more, and then in turn honor the things, the people, the spaces that you're in. Okay, here are some contemplations to consider for the new moon. Are my relationships sustaining me? What needs to shift and change for me to create more support in my relationships? What do I need to give more? What do I need to receive? What practices do I have to ground myself in nature? If you don't do anything else this year, please find yourself in relationship with nature and community. How can I create a more sustainable relationship with the natural world? What needs to change? You are literally nature. So by separating yourself from the natural world, that is giving you tons of dissonance, tons of restriction, tons of lack, tons of stress. So even just that one move alone can help move the needle a lot. Those are the contemplations you can carry with throughout the week. You can write them down and journal about them. The challenge of this new moon is to learn how to manage being a highly sensitive person and not letting the sensitivity bring you down, bury you in a pit. The optimal expression of embodying this energy is the ability to sense the emotional needs of others and the community and know how to bring emotional energy back into alignment with sustainability and sufficiency. Ability to be emotionally vulnerable and present to increase heart to heart connections. That is the optimal presentation of the Gate 19. So it's an offering and an invitation for us to keep this in mind and have this as an intention this week. I am an integral part of the cosmic plan. I live in harmony with my body. Who else needs to hear that? I live in harmony with my body. I use the resources that nature provides to sustain my physical health and wellness. Part of my health is building relationships and community that supports and nurture me. I surround myself with people who truly see and value me and support my creative process. I am bold and honest about what I need and what I want, and the people in my life who truly love me support me in getting my needs fulfilled in a healthy, loving way. All right. So think about that. Take that on this week. If you haven't already, please join the circle community. And, if you missed out on the recordings or like next week where we don't have a Zoom, um, we can take it to the circle community and hash some of these energetics out. What's coming up for you? Are there synchronicities here? Did you try some of the tools? What came up in the contemplation? All this stuff is going to help you really bring these energies to life, really embody them, heal what needs to be healed, reckon with what needs to be reckoned with. Okay. All right. So that's this week coming up. Let's think about the whole month. So the month of January is finally coming to an end this week. Um, January, I saw a meme on Instagram or something that's like, January is going to make you feel every 31 days of her. And yes, yes, all day long. Um, it's a long month. It's a lot of times it's a really hard month after holiday shenanigans and it's wintering and it's cold weather. And then there's all these expectations of a new year, new me. It's nuts. So it's a interesting dynamic of leaning more into the natural seasons of nature because you are nature, versus the capitalistic cultural rhythms of new year, new hustle, new grind, new goals, new resolutions, all that kind of stuff. So I'm curious how you are balancing all of that. You're reckoning with all that. If you're interested in these conversations too, check out the Human Sessions podcast that I do with Val Marini from the Session series. We talked at our previous episode about the rhythms of winter and energetics of winter and what comes up with that, and how you might be able to be more aligned with the rhythms of the seasons. Um, Karen Curry Parker's invitation for us to record some wins from the last month. How can I grow? And what is already working? So look back at the month. What is already working? Um, what are some wins? If you've created something, if you've met new people that have enriched you, if you've learned something new, if you've started growing somewhere, or if you've gone against a previous pattern. Maybe last year you were like still like pushing forward with resolutions and goals and starts and blah, blah, blah. And maybe this year you're leaning more into rest, recovery, hibernation, all of that kind of stuff. That is considered a win. If you are still showing up for yourself every day, that is a win. So big to small, there are no judgments in wins because your body and your mind and your spirit feel every win like it's a win. So it's time to start celebrating us every single day, in big ways. Okay. What has already worked for you this month? What is a win for this month? If you only can think of one and it's, I showed up to listen to this recording, good. Okay. But this is an attempt to try to rewire our nervous system to allow more attention on positivity, on good things, on high vibrational things, on more of the hopeful trajectory of life. We are already wired for negativity, and the world reflects that right back to us. So, how can we create more space for more positivity? Okay. Thank you so much for opening your mind and heart with me today. Please join me in the circle. Reach out with any questions you have. If you're having trouble finding those recordings, wanting to join live next time, the book, anything, please reach out to hello@craftinggood.com on Instagram at We Are Crafting Good. The circle should all be under the links and on the first page of my profile or on the first page of my website. So um, please, please join me and have a super wonderful week. Thank you.